Welcome to Breakthrough Buzz, the podcast where we dive into the biggest stories shaping our world. And today we've got a game changer. I'm your host, Alex Carter, and joining me is none other than Dr. Elena Vasquez, one of the world's leading geneticists and a total rock star in the science community. Elena, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Alex. I'm thrilled to be on, and I've got to say, what we're talking about today is mind-blowing. It's rewriting the future, literally.
Exactly. We're talking about David Liu, an American molecular biologist who just won the Breakthrough Prize in Life Sciences, and a cool $3 million on Saturday in Los Angeles. This guy's work is straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's real, and it's happening now. Elena, break it down for us. What's David Liu doing that's so revolutionary?
Okay, Alex, imagine DNA as the instruction manual for life. It's written in a code with 4 letters, A, G, T, and C. Sometimes there's a typo in that code, a mutation, and it can cause serious diseases like cystic fibrosis or rare conditions affecting the lungs and liver. For years, we've had tools to mess with DNA, but David Liu, he's taken it to a whole new level with 2 inventions, base editing and prime editing. These are like the ultimate spell checkers for life's instruction manual.
Spell checkers for DNA? I love that. But let's back up. Most of us have heard of CRISPR, right? That gene editing tool that won a Nobel Prize a few years ago. How's Liu's work different?
Great question. CRISPR is like a pair of scissors. It snips both strands of DNA to disrupt a gene. Super useful, but it's not great at fixing specific mistakes, and it can sometimes make new errors. Liu saw that to really treat genetic diseases, we need precision, not just disruption. So with base editing, he tweaked CRISPR's scissors, disabled them from cutting both strands, and paired them with an enzyme that swaps one DNA letter for another. Think of it like changing a C to a T, or a G to an A without breaking the whole page.
So it's like editing a typo instead of ripping up the book. That's wild. And I hear this is already helping real people?
Absolutely. Base editing is in at least 14 clinical trials right now. One big win? A company Liu co-founded, Beam Therapeutics, used it to treat patients with AATD, a rare genetic disorder that messes with your lungs and liver. They fixed the mutation with just 1 drug infusion. This isn't just patching things up, it's correcting the root cause. First time in history, humans have done that in a patient.
That's incredible. I mean, imagine getting a single shot that rewrites your DNA and cures something you were born with. But you said base editing only fixes some mutations, right? What about the rest?
Right. Base editing handles about 30% of disease-causing mutations, still a huge deal. But it can't fix everything, like when DNA has extra or missing letters. That's where Liu's second invention, prime editing, comes in. If base editing is a pencil fixing a single letter, prime editing is a find and replace tool, like in a word processor. It can swap out whole chunks of faulty DNA for the right sequence. His team used it to tackle cystic fibrosis, which is caused by 3 missing DNA letters. That's a big leap.
Find and replace for DNA? I'm picturing Liu sitting at a keyboard coding life like a tech genius. How did he even pull this off?
It took what his team calls small miracles. For prime editing, they had to invent new molecular machines from scratch, stuff that doesn't exist in nature. And with base editing, they engineered enzymes to reverse changes, like turning a T back to AC. It's precision engineering at the tiniest scale imaginable. Liu's only 51, and he's already given us what some call CRISPR 2.0 and beyond.
And he's not keeping it to himself either. I read he's sharing this stuff with the world.
Yep, Liu's lab made their DNA blueprints free through a non-profit library. Tens of thousands of labs globally are using them. He says it's all funded by society, through taxes, donors, so it should go back to benefit everyone. That's crops that resist disease, better nutrition, and of course, curing genetic diseases.
That's the kind of scientist we need more of. But here's the twist. Liu's getting this prize at a tricky time. He told AFP the US government's cutting funds for places like the NIH, which he calls a treasure. What's that mean for all this progress?
It's a huge worry, Alex. The NIH funds a ton of basic research, like the kind that led to Liu's breakthroughs. Liu said, cutting that is like burning your seed corn. You're destroying the roots of future discoveries. Science isn't cheap or fast, and if the US pulls back, we could lose momentum just as we're hitting these incredible strides.
Man, that's a gut punch. But Liu's still pushing forward. He's even donating most of his $3 million prize to his charitable foundation. What's next for him, you think?
He's got his eyes on the big picture. More diseases, better crops, maybe even preventing conditions before they start. With prime editing's versatility, the sky's the limit. Leo's rewriting DNA, and honestly, he's rewriting what we think is possible in medicine.
Well, I'm sold. David Liu, you're a hero to the general public tuning in today. Elena, thanks for breaking this down. You've made my brain hurt in the best way. Folks, that's it for this episode of Breakthrough Buzz. Follow us for more stories that'll blow your mind. Until next time, keep looking up.